Few filmmakers can boast the longevity, legacy, and sheer volume of work that Steven Spielberg has given the world over the course of his incredible career. Spielberg has done everything from science fiction masterpieces and timeless adventures to gripping dramas. He's even helmed some of the best monster movies ever made. Perhaps some of his most impactful work, though, has come in the war movie genre. One such venture into that realm saw Spielberg collaborate with the Coen brothers, two of the most prolific and impressive writers and directors of the last 30 years. Joel and Ethan are set to make a reunion soon enough, which is inherently promising because of the pair's history of making some of the sharpest, funniest, most gripping screenplays of the modern era. Spielberg and the Coens both boast such outstanding portfolios, it can be easy to overlook their more understated work, like Bridge of Spies. Still, the Cold War thriller combines the artistic flair of Spielberg, the nuanced script work of the Coens, and the captivating screen presence of Tom Hanks, and it should get far more recognition. The Coens and Spielberg proved to be a surprisingly great combination in Bridge of Spies. The Coen brothers can do serious stories as well as comedy. Tom Hanks as James B. Donovan and Mark Rylance as Rudolph Abel at court in Bridge of Spies. The Coen brothers and Steven Spielberg bring out the best in one another with Bridge of Spies. The Coens are at their best when they're tackling dark comedies with a violent twist, like Burn After Reading and The Big Lebowski, where their penchant for elaborate and flowery dialogue is given room to flourish. The Coens love to embrace satire and surrealism, creating larger-than-life characters and putting them into the most ludicrous situations. It's odd, then, that one of the finest Spielberg movies based on real events would have a Coen brothers script at its heart. Bridge of Spies captures all the grit and trauma of the true story at its core, focusing on Hanks' James B. Donovan as he negotiates the peaceful exchange of two prisoners on either side of the Cold War conflict. Throughout, there are flashes of that trademark Coen brothers' heart and energy throughout, particularly in the dynamic interplay between Hanks and Mark Rylance's KGB agent Rudolph Abel. It's a film that could very easily have become too heavy and bleak at times, but the Coens ensure Bridge of Spies is laced with moments of levity and genuine hope. Successfully combining that exquisite tonal balance with the movie magic of a Steven Spielberg movie will always reap rewards. Bridge of Spies showcases all the masterful direction and visual panache one would expect from the legendary filmmaker. Still, Spielberg has been known to allow sentimentality to bleed into his work, for better or worse. With the Coen brothers guiding the script, Bridge of Spies feels far more grounded and there appears to be a real respect for the pursuit of authenticity across the board. Bridge of Spies was a hit, but isn't remembered like the Coens and Spielberg's classics. Bridge of Spies received 6 Oscar nominations. Mark Rylance in a subway in Bridge of Spies. At the time of release, Bridge of Spies was very well received by audiences and critics alike. Most notably, the film picked up 6 nominations at the 2016 Academy Awards, including Oscar nods for Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay, and Rylance would go on to win in the Supporting Actor category for his portrayal of Rudolph Abel. Bridge of Spies reviews were largely positive, and the film still holds a 91% score on Rotten Tomatoes to this day. Yet, almost a decade later, Bridge of Spies is rarely recognized as one of Spielberg's better pictures, and most people don't even know it was a movie written by the Coen brothers. Perhaps, Bridge of Spies is merely the victim of falling into the filmographies of some of the most productive creators of their generation. With so many great movies between them, only the best of the best can stand the test of time, and Bridge of Spies, admittedly, is a little too understated to have the lasting impact efforts such as Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Fargo have enjoyed. Spielberg is a master of different kinds of war movie. Spielberg loves exploring history and conflict. While Bridge of Spies is a politically charged Cold War thriller, the list of Steven Spielberg war movies is long and wide-ranging. The iconic director is renowned for big, epic pictures across a range of different genres, and Saving Private Ryan and War of the Worlds are great examples of how Spielberg has tackled very different types of war movies while maintaining that sense of grandeur and immense scale he is famous for. Meanwhile, efforts like Bridge of Spies, Schindler's List, and War Horse are far more intimate and highly emotional offerings. This proves how Spielberg is not one to lean on style over substance. Steven Spielberg is an incredible visual storyteller, but he's a director who always has a handle on the characters at the core of his work, and he clearly understands the importance of this more than ever when it comes to emphasizing the human impact of war.